Hey guys, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, and in this video, we're going to talk about the Joint Apprentice Training Center, what it takes to get in and what all they teach, and we're going to talk about it right now. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I've been plumbing over 38 years, and I have every master endorsement in the state of Texas. On this channel, I'm teaching you everything you need to know about plumbing. If you haven't been here before, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. So I've got with me Richard Johnston from Southwest Pipe Trades. And, you know, those of y'all that saw the last video, you understand, I call Richard a recruiter, but really, to me, Richard is an informer. Richard lets you know what options are available through the union and why you may want to get into the union and what's beneficial about it to you. So, you know, we're going to continue on that. But my first question really is, Richard, what all is the United Association? What all different parts, components, and pieces, and by that I mean, you know, plumbers, fitters, and welders, what all pieces make up the United Association?
Oh, that's a pretty broad paintbrush. Anything that has pipe is our work, is what they call our work. It's our jurisdiction. Fiber optics is light in the pipe. It's got a core, either a glass or a nylon type core, and that's our work. We have other organizations trying to claim that work, but actually it's our work in low voltage. Okay, then as you said, plumbing, which is plumbing service and construction, to include med gases and everything in hospitals. A pipe fitter welder is synonymous. We do both. That person through the apprentice training program is cross-trained. Is cross-trained. He actually learns how to miter fittings, fit pipe. Now we're not just talking at 4, 5, 6 inch. When you get on some of these construction jobs, it could be 84-inch pipe. It could be below ground. It could be almost utility pipe. So you have to be able to miter fittings and fit up large pipes. Be able to do a little bit of math to get that to happen.
And you say they're cross-trained, but really, once the guys are out in the field, pipe fitters normally don't weld a whole lot, and welders definitely don't fit pipe a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, but
but they can. They know what they're doing.
Okay, but if you let's say a pipe fitter. If they have a large demand for plumbers, and this guy's been working on both sides of the aisle for many, many years, and he's maintaining a plumbing apprentice card through the state of Texas, they'll dispatch him as a pipe fitter, and he'll be working alongside of journeyman licensed plumbers in that plumbing crew. So that's kind of how that is.
And you know, that's what's really neat, and one thing that I love about the union. I got in the union in '97. And it's funny, Ronnie Schreiber was the labor manager or vice president over at Brand Engineering at the time. And I remember after being in about 6 months, I went to Ronnie Schreiber and I said, look, I want you to send me to the Apprentice Training Center as a pipe fitter. And he just laughed. He said, they are not, which, you know, I joined it. I bought my book as a plumber.
Yeah.
He said, they're not going to let you go through school as a pipe fitter. And I'm like, but look, I want to learn it.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because the one thing that he told me at that time that really has stuck with me since then is, he says, everybody who gets into the union from open shop really wants to learn. They want that. They're like a sponge. They want that education because we realize that there's more to it than just what we've learned open shop.
Right. Let me interject this. Okay, we have members that they started out as maybe a pipe fitter. Mm-hmm. They worked alongside plumbers. They got before they had to have an apprentice card. Well, they clocked the hours to be able to take the test.
Absolutely.
They took their test and got their journeyman license. They went and got their master plumbing license. They became a med gas master. We have continuing education on every at least once a month, you know, because that's part of our agreement that we will do 8 hours of continuing education in each trade. They've gone in and they've got weld certifications now. So this is like a one-man army. Army, he could go out and do anything and everything. And we don't limit you to just the trade that you are licensed in. If you want to learn how to weld and you have experience welding, you can go in and on the fourth Saturday of each month, you can go in and you can practice. You have guys there to show you the ropes. And if you want air conditioning training, we have we have classes on that as well. So, I mean, you're only limited to what you want to do.
And it's funny because, I came into the union as a journeyman plumber, and then I got my med gas, and then I became a master plumber, and then I got my master med gas, my master water supply protection specialist, my master residential fire protection, and became an RMP. You're right that there is so much to learn, but the neat thing about the cross training, and I'll give you a great example. I remember working out at Plano Independent School District. I was on a job with Brad Sullivan, and we had a stem winder. we had a really good welding apprentice on the job named Rick Bowden Jr. Okay. And they were coming into work one Saturday, and they were working on carbon steel pipe, hooking up a chill water or a cooling tower, and so it would be condenser water. I get that, but they were coming into work on a Saturday, and Brad came up and he says, "Look, I don't really have any plumbing work to do, but you're a journeyman on the job, so we're coming into work. I have to offer you the work if you want." And I told him, I said, "Look, I can come in and I'll work with the fitters. I don't care. Sure. I mean, I can help move pipe and do what I need to do." And I worked with Rick Bowden. And it's funny because I worked as his apprentice. And I mean, I'm a journeyman plumber. Right. He's an apprentice welder, but I'm working as his apprentice. And, at the end of the day, he said, "Look, you can apprentice for me any day because I understand the math. I understand fittings. And look, we can tweak this and turn this and do this." And it's neat because I had been around it enough to know, look, I can help this guy.
Sure.
And, I did. And it wasn't like I just came in on a Saturday and sat there. I came in, I worked my butt off. And he's like, "Hey, look, you can work with me any day you want to." Well, we got a lot of stuff done. We put a lot of inches in.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's all about. So the Joint Apprentice Training Center, what all do they teach? Most people think, okay, if I'm going to school as a plumber, I'm going to learn plumbing. Right. What all do they really teach?
Well, the first 2 years is like a cookie cutter of each trade has a similar duties, if you want to call it, or task. Okay, we all need to know the safety portion of it. So they are going to get OSHA 30. You're going to get heritage, where we came from, why we exist, and give you some history on that of how the labor organizations came to be what they are. And then you're going to get what we call fusion of pipe. Okay, and that means poly pipe. I mean pro press, soldering, brazing, which is silver alloy based with it's 1,000 degrees or above, and then you cut those apart, and you have to make sure you make a 100% penetration into the cup of the fitting, and with that, we don't build houses or buildings like we used to. So now we're using more copper because of LG refrigeration systems in a let's say assisted living centers and things of that nature, because they're so much more efficient than just the PTAC type slide-in compartmental units. And so with that, you have to put a really, really pure weld in. So it has to be purged with nitrogen or argon. We can't have any oxide flakes or crusties inside of that piping, because when they commission the system, the oils that actually move throughout the system, there's some that travel all in throughout, and then your refrigerants act as a great solvent, if you will, a cleanser. So it washes all those particulates back to the condensing unit, because that's where the heart of the system is. And they have these small filters inside of the condensing unit will stop up, and it'll just trash that component, and because there's no repairing it on the job per se. in maintaining the warranty. They have to fly some people in from another world to do that.
So as you can see, this is probably one of the smartest guys I know when this comes to the stuff that we do. And I really enjoyed sitting around the training center and talking to you a lot. The guys get cross-trained. You know, you're talking about the brazing and the inert gases that we purge with. Well, as a plumber, we use that for med gas. So same type philosophy. You don't want any oxidation inside the pipe. So guys get cross-trained. Guys learn everything from, you know, blueprint reading, foreman certification, rigging, how to use a crane to lift and fly and move equipment.
Crane signaling. That's
crane signaling.
Crane signaling.
OSHA is huge. One of the big ones that I really enjoyed, which I didn't get to do it, was the rigging. And I remember working with Scott Boswell. I was doing a remodel of the First United Methodist Church in downtown Dallas, and I told him I needed 2 high-lift jacks. And that whenever I turned this order in, they thought I was crazy, and he actually called. He said, man, look, I got a question for you. He says, you've got 2 high-lift jacks on your order form, and I need to know why.
I don't even know what a high-lift jack is.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You see these Jeeps driving down the road that have that big jack on the back bumper or on the front hood or something like it. It's a literal jack that's this big.
Okay.
And that's a high-lift jack.
Okay, it's a high-lift jack.
So I ordered 2 of these on a job, and he calls me and says, man, I got to ask you. He says, Roger, look, I never question you on materials or tools or anything at all, but man, why 2 high-lift jacks? And we had in the budget to bring our crane down, lift this cooling tower, and move it. Okay. And what I did getting out on the job is we welded on the braces and structural to where it was going to move to. And literally I had my welder weld me some stiff legs on her, and I put that high lift jack on, and we jacked this cooling tower with high lift jacks and moved it like 16 inches. 18 inches, something like that. It's about 1.5 feet, I guess.
Yeah.
And, you know, it saved a crane. It saved shutting down the street.
Yeah.
But you learn from cross-training, you learn to think outside the box. Mm-hmm. And I love that. But so let's talk about this. You know, I joined the union in 97 as a journeyman. I moved up to a foreman, a superintendent. I became MedGas certified. I became a general superintendent. I became a quality control manager, learned to use a total station and help brand engineering get into using that. I eventually moved up to director of operations for a mechanical contractor here in Dallas too. What all, you know, we're talking to people about joining as a plumber or pipe fitter or welder. What can they go into from there? What can they move up into?
Well, the sky's the limit. I mean, guys and gals that come through and either they have experience or they go through the program during their apprenticeship. You know, they're on the job 40 plus hours per week. They're getting 850 hours of classroom training, 2 nights a week per semester. And with that, they move up. And
that's not 850 hours each night.
No,
that's over a year, right? 850 a year?
Per semester.
Okay.
Per semester. So, and that's about from, just say, August to December, and then from January to just into May. Right. And so with that, you have persons like yourself that are astute to the trade, and they see potential. Guys and gals that want to move forward. They're aggressive. They're eager to learn. And so, what do? You tax them. You give them more than what they should be able to do, and you let them muddle through it a ways, and then you mentor them. And so, as you mentor them, and they come, I get those guys because I teach through the program, and they just. I'm doing a journeyman's job, and they're not paying me for this. And they go on, and after they get off their soapbox, I tell them, hey, look, you're on that job, and they see something in you. They are investing energy in you because they're going to let you make your mistakes here at this level here. And then when you fall on your face, that trial and error, and then they mentor you, and they bump you up, and they give you that supportive information, and you work through it. You've gained a whole volume of knowledge. And with that, by the time you turn out as a journeyman in your 5th year, they've already got you groomed to be that next foreman. And so same way with on the service side, you're a one-man army. You're working with a guy, and most of the time you're have your own truck, but you're working along with someone. And when they turn you loose in your 5th year, you got to gather your own material. You have to think through your own project. You have to, if you've got rigging to that needs to be put on this job, you're the man. You're the a foreman. You have to orchestrate your own job, and how you organize that means all the difference in the world if you're going to stay employed or not.
Absolutely. So, guys, you know, we're talking about, of course, with me, it's always how to become a plumber, but literally this is how to become a plumber, an electrician, an HVAC technician, an iron worker, a mason. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of different trades that you can get into that have a lot of good and very unique training programs. Richard and I have both been to Ann Arbor for the instructor training program, and I know that a lot of the other unions are sending their instructors through it. So, you know, if you are in the union or you're not in the union, please leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about it and what benefits you get it, or what you think your benefits are of being union or non-union. Because, you know, I've been both. I tell people I came up open shop, but I got in the union in '97. I've been here since then. I've done residential, commercial, service, and new construction. So I think I've got a pretty well-rounded plumbing education. Richard, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you about either getting in the union, or if they're just wanting to get in trades in general? How can they get in touch with you?
Best way, just call me on my cell phone. Just call 469-520-1261. And if I miss your call, leave me a message, because I field a lot of calls, and so I'll listen to your voicemail and I will call you back. Trust me.
Hey guys, I'm Roger Wakefield. You can get in touch with me. The best way to connect with me, especially if you're a business owner or you want to be, connect with me on LinkedIn. We will put a link in the description down below to where you can get in touch with me on all my social media formats. The good thing about that is you can see what I do different on the different formats. But connect with me, follow me, and if you're here on YouTube, man, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything, and be sure and give us a thumbs up. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, and I'll see you on the next video if you don't get flushed.